I've got that 2-minute countdown on there anymore. That doesn't matter. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media universe. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great award-winning show. It is December. I better check it to get it right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 23rd of December, one day closer to Christmas, one day closer to my next birthday, and of course, one day closer to when the sun goes supernova and all of your crypto FOMO problems are solved forever. But regardless of all of those issues going on, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing right now here is my co-host, Pedro Garcia. Pedro, what's happening?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Doing well, Pedro. Doing well. How was your weekend, Pedro?
It was a good weekend, man. It was real chill. Just hung out. Was on a few spaces. And then hung out with just friends. It's the holiday season, so you do the holiday thing. You chill out, you hang out, and have a good time. So, what's up with you? How was your weekend?
Good. I am in Toronto, as they say, at the in-laws, and it was the food extravaganza here with the Christmas party. I sent you a pic, set the guys in the TG room and everyone else a picture of all of that. It was meat-a-palooza, and it was delicious, and everything was great here. I contributed to it not with any cooking whatsoever. I contributed by cleaning.
Or a taste tester, making sure it's not poison.
Oh, yes, I was the tast tester, of course. That's a very important job. Very important job. But it went well. With Mrs. Striking's family, and everything went great, getting ready for Christmas and all that type of stuff. So, as they say, it was fantabulous.
Fantabulous.
Music here to something else. Let's switch it over to the lo-fi for this show, since but Pedro, we got a good show today. Today is a meme coin Monday, and we got two groups in the meme coin platform, or the meme coin universe, coming to us today. A group from ENKI on Solana is here to talk about their project. Just to let you know that everyone that's waiting for them, I hope if you're a ENKI, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, ENKI person watching this show, please comment. Let us know you're watching, and get your fellow meme coin supporters to come raid the channel and show the chat some love and get the viewership some. That's why we do this. We bring projects onto here so we can get their views for free and promote our award-winning show. And just to let you know, Pedro, as a bit of housekeeping, they are not coming on docs today, which is abnormal for us, for people that we don't know very well. So we're just going to have a short run with them today, and we'll see how it goes. I should have their chart to you for that, but we'll get to that later. I'll do that in the background when we're talking about this crazy thing going on right now. Pedro, you know what that is? The BTC just kind of going between 97 and 93,000, and they're running us in this little up and down, up and then dump, and then up and then dump, and then up and then dump, and it sounds like they're preparing us for something. What would you say would you say that that's the case?
I would agree with that. I would not disagree with that. Right now, this is how they do it. They typically, we always talk about in the trading world, right? The best way to get the orders is literally to do the opposite of what you're trying to do. So bait and switch, and that's what they're doing. You can see here they're looking to drop it. One thing I always say to people, are we putting in demand wicks? And when you look, we really don't see any demand wicks all the way down.
Just to be clear for those newbie viewers, those are the wicks at the bottom of the candles, showing that it traded in that area but closed much higher than the bottom of the wick.
So if you see, it's the bottom wick right here. You can see that when we started to move up in the market, you can see that as we were coming down, okay, this is the 5-minute candle, and this was on Friday. You can see that as we were coming down into an area where there are buyers, you can see that the market started slowing down. Whereas it was coming down, you can see it came up. And you see that? That means that it sold off and then buyers came and bought it back. Sold off, buyers came and bought it back. Sold off, buyers came and bought it back. And you see it did that all the way down. So they were slowing down the market and looking to take it the opposite way. Then you can see here, they're pushing it up. They're putting in wicks here. So those bottom wicks means that they're buying. They're getting ready to push it up. And you can see that's exactly what they did. Now, there came a point in time when it stopped. And that was about right around here, around that 97,000. And you can see as we're moving up. There's nothing really, no real wicks. As we're coming down, even coming down, we're putting in the upper wicks, not the bottom wicks. Except we have a few of them right here, but not much.
Means we're going down.
Which means we're going down. So you can see here then, we come up and we saw a little bit of a bounce right in this area where we saw. So that's where you can see we came. Remember I talked about how we had a bunch of wicks right here? That's where we're actually fighting against those buyers. But they actually absorbed those buyers right here with no wicks. So those buyers got absorbed by a bunch of sellers. And so it was a perfect meeting of the minds and said, which way are we going? They said down. And then the buyers said down. And then everything went down. So that's exactly what we saw. So now we're kind of seeing consolidate here. But it's an interesting thing. Now, the biggest key here is this, is how far are we going to go, right? Everybody wants to know how far are we going to go. And we talked about a couple of things here. On Friday, I talked about us. We want to see us close, right? We want to see it close green if we're going to push up. And sure enough, we pushed up. But I also said that we have that 8 in that 20. If we do see it, we're going to see it come up and test that. And then if it can't get above that, with real volume, then we're going to go down. So that's exactly what we saw for the weekend. Boom, boom, boom. Now, we're fighting with some pretty dope stuff. I love it. Everybody knows I love seeing a red Sunday and a red Monday. Why would I love seeing
Wait, hold on, Pedro. I'm not going to answer you. We're going to have a giveaway. Okay. A giveaway. I don't know what the prize is yet. We're going to have a giveaway. And it's probably going to be some free credit on BidFi. Okay. For whoever answers this one correctly. If Pedro wants it to go down, let me kind of bring the BidFi thing up here.
I'm very bullish.
Right. If Pedro wants it to go down on Sunday and Monday, why is that? I want a comment from one of you loyal viewers out there, because you hear Pedro talk about this all the time, and we want to see if you are paying attention or not. Let's see. Come on. Someone's got to do it. We got 11 viewers here. Someone has to be able to answer. If Pedro wants it to go down at the beginning of the week, why does he want that? And the winner's going to get at least 50 USDT on BidFi to trade with and try to make mo monies with.
Anybody can.
Troublesome's got it. It has to go down to go up. That's the close enough. That's all right, and it's more along the week time frame. Pedro says, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pedro. You have to go down at the beginning of the week to go up at the end of the week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's exactly the reason why. So typically,
all right. And it's a Troublesome, you have won 50 USDT on. I don't know if you've opened an account with BidFi, but if you do, I'll make sure you get a $50 credit from BidFi to trade with and see how you do on the futures markets.
Also, want to shout out to all the new people there. Glad to have every one of you guys. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share button. That helps us out so much. Hit the algorithm. Also, if you want to, I'll never ever get tired of you guys wanting to tip the waiter. That's all I'm going to say. And the way to do it is to tip us on YouTube. All right. Many of you guys have made a lot of money off of some of the calls that I've talked about here. So
that's a good point. And Pedro, I have two. I had two. I had two good trades when Bitcoin was coming down over the past 24 hours, both of which I made about 15% on or so, which I'm happy with. Although I have to admit, one trade was worked out completely. I said, you know what, Pedro said it's going to go down to that 93 range. I went back and I actually went back, which you viewers should do, and said, where did Pedro say it was going to go down to? And I was like, all right. And then so I went, looked at the moving averages, and I said, okay, I think it's about time that it's going to do that. And it worked out. And I closed it out, made 15%. I only had $100 at risk. Made 50. I guess 20. I had a little bit less than that. So I made 15% on about a $75 risk. So that's pretty good. The second trade actually it was a little bit bigger, and I was like, all right, this is going to go. It went back up, and I'm like, it didn't really trade through that area enough. I think it's still going to come back down. The moving averages on the 1 day, and especially the 4 hour, were really trending it downward still. So I said, all right, I'm going to go short again. And then I got distracted. And what happens, Pedro, when I get distracted and I have a trade on?
Dude, you always lose money, bro.
I get my ass handed to me. That's right. And I got distracted by something else going on. And just out of pure luck, I shouldn't say out of pure luck, the market did exactly what you said it was going to do. It went back down. It got all the way down to 90, 94, low 94s or something this morning. And I looked back at it and I said it was up $70. Made $70. I think that one was a 25%er. I used a little bit more margin that time. So one trade worked out. Both trades fell into the area in which you're teaching me how it works. One of them worked out even though I was watching it carefully, and one of them worked out because I fucked off and it still worked out. So one of them I kind of got lucky.
Listen, if you're trading with the trend, you have even if you have errors in your trade, you're going to do fairly well. You know what I'm saying? The trend is your friend until the bend at the end, right? So that's always how it is. Oh snap! What did we get right there by Extreme Car Care? What is up?
Oh, I'm way behind on the comments here.
It's good. It's good.
Extreme Car Care donates 20 pounds. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to both. Okay. Shout out to AI Alpha Wolf. Whoop, whoop, CTO. Let's go. Later in the show, we'll have AI Alpha Wolf on here, a good friend to almost everybody on the crypto sphere. He'll be on talking about, 7 or 8 of his many projects. Pedro, let's get off of the Bitcoin for right now and address the community. I've been way behind, but Extreme Car Care, all the way from Manchester, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Today's a Brit-heavy show. It's like BritBox today. Brit-heavy show. Thank you very much, especially for Christmas. But as I always say, Pedro and I thank you. Every dollar contributed and every pound. Thank you for sending us the king's money. And we're so happy. It goes a long way in Canada. 20 pounds in Canada is like $740 now. But Fire Chicken in the house. Fire Chicken says, guess who's hanging out on Radium? Ladies and gentlemen, the big news is that one of our own viewers and kind of our meme coin du jour, Fire Chicken, bonded on. And they were helped out a little bit by the swoon in the price of Solana and also by the rising chart. And so good job to Fire Chicken, the whole Fire Chicken crew for getting bonded. And we'll be talking about you not much later in the show, probably right after our next guest. And then there's Chuck Jansen, a couple of more rooms. I'll be with you. Patrick Stanific coming all the way. Stefanik, I think he's in Denver. Are you out west somewhere?
No, he's like Canada. He's a Canada guy.
Oh, Patrick. Oh, well, maybe he's in the Rockies somewhere. Was that what I was thinking?
Yeah, I believe the West Coast-ish area. I know that's a big area, but I know he's out there somewhere.
Fortunately, El Señor de los Lentes is here. Thank you very much.
Señor. Yeah.
And Pedro Alpha was looking forward to talking to us. Who we got in the house here? Our fellow Canadian from Manitoba. Hello, my peoples. Have you had any Fire Chicken today? Crypto Mike, all the way from outside of Manitoba. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Who else are we missing here? Crypto Mike. Troublesome says, woot, woot, he is the winner. I'll get with you on the outside there. Let's see, Shireen, the better half of the Spurgis crowd, and as I always say, she's the better half, not because she has an advantage over her husband. It's because she's here at the show, and her husband is not. If her husband was here, he would be the better half. Just so you know, I'm not playing favorites. I'm just playing viewers. Jerry Molinari, thanks for joining us. What up, boys? What up, Jerry? Space Cat in the house, coming to us from Toronto. Space Cat, it's snowing like crazy here, and I have a hard stop at 2:00 today. So we got to get rolling here because I've got to rolling. Striking here. Rolling. Let's just quickly, Chris Magard. We haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Chris also says Doge BSC in the house. Oh yeah, I haven't seen you guys in a while. Something huge happened right at the beginning on the new year. All right, we got the whole crowd out there. Pedro. We're going to switch over from Meme Coin Monday before we hit a couple of meme charts. We're going to get to our guests. So if your guests, our guest Satoshi from the ENKI project and 15, I don't know if it's Mick 15 or 15. I'm going to bring them on here, and we're going to chat with them really quickly about this. I sent you a link to their chart.
I see it.
Satoshi and 15, welcome to the house here.
Good afternoon,
Hello.
Good evening, gents. Hello, chaps. An absolute pleasure to be on this show. Thank you very much for having us on. It's a joy.
Oh, thank you very much. It's our joy to always host people in the sphere. Oh, I got the wrong. Still got the Bitcoin name up there. There we go. Got rid of that.
Right.
Anyway,
so I think we're about to see our fantastic chart, which looks very bullish indeed. Lots of green, no red at all. As you can see, it's looking very good, very tasty.
Well, hold on before we get to the chart. And I realize you guys aren't docs, so I want everyone to take that with a use their filter in investing in things to note that. Yeah. But one of the things we always like to ask people, what made you go from just being a crypto bro, crypto dude, or whatever you want to say, or a senior crypto analyst, however you want to position yourself, into saying, you know what, we need to run a meme coin. There's a change in one's thinking that has to happen in order to do that. So Satoshi, you're the guy with the logo up saying peace. How did you come to the conclusion, like, that is what I want to do?
So there's 3 founders in this project. I'm seen as the lead founder. So my story myself was I was actually into animations and art. So I actually got into the meme space through the creativity side of things. Really enjoyed it, the community side and creativity side. So I ended up working for a project for the first my first dipping my toe into the meme space, basically. And then I ended up in the core team of that project, doing all the animation work, doing some of the marketing ventures, but primarily it was through the creativity side of things and just being able to give something to the project and support my own bag. So that's sort of my story. And then I just stuck around in that, really enjoyed it, saw the back end of the project being in the core team, and then just stuck around, helped a lot more projects along the way, jumped into projects I liked, again just gave out my services for free because I was supporting my bag, and then just formed a great team through those times, worked with great people, jumped into a few CTOs, and then this was our sort of first launch, really. So it all just came together with meeting the right people at the right time, finding out who you can trust, building a good team together, and then sort of launching our own token when we had the good people around us. So yeah, that's sort of the backstory for myself.
So you the key thing you said there is bringing in other people you can trust, and you brought over the person below me here, 15 here. Do you know? Are you guys friends in real life, or is this only a crypto romance?
We are
very much crypto romance.
We're friends in real life, as in real life meaning Telegram. So yeah, we're friends on Telegram. But we are only friends because we were in a project. It's called Dildo Bag Hands, which is quite a funny name. It's quite a good one, isn't it?
We've heard them all here.
You've heard them all. That's another one for you, chaps. But yeah, that was CTO'd by Mr. Satoshi. And I met him through that, and so we got on pretty well. I mean, I'm very active on Telegram. I've been far too active on Telegram, but I'm always singing around. So we got on really well. I've got my own little cool channel and stuff, and I've been brought onto the team to help send ENKI into as far as I can possibly go. And it's a fun one. It's a fun one. So I've been on a couple of teams before. But this one's kind of the first one that I've been from launch, from the start, because usually I've been only on the teams when it's much later on, and I'm just a community member who just hangs around far too much.
Right.
But here I've come from launch. So yeah, no, that's the story for how I came to be in the ENKI team, essentially.
All right, we've switched modes here to showing your chart here. Pedro's got it, I believe, in the 1 week chart. You guys have been around a little bit longer than most of the groups that come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 weeks. So pretty long time here for meme coins. You know, usually we talk about these things in hours or days. So he's got your chart up, Pedro. What do you think of what's going on with their chart here?
What's real interesting, their market cap is 114K, which means that you guys got up to about $1 million, about 1.2, 1.3 mil, and then you guys have now seen the sell-off kind of coming, which is typical with meme coins, right? Big pump, then a dump. What I find really interesting is that the actual selling of your guys' the selling of the chart here. You guys had a ton of real buyers here. I would assume when you calculate the people who are still in, I'm assuming like you got a lot. How many bag holders do you have? I mean, you got 520. How many of them do you think are like real holders? Like, how big is your guys' community?
So the community, I mean, it's hard to judge because obviously you jump through the Pump Fund launch. The Pump Fund launch is obviously a crazy time. I think we were only on Pump Fund for literally like 30 seconds. So that blew up straight, bonded, and we were straight out the gates with that. You know, you get a ton of people that come in early. They get really early bags. You know, we had a really good pump. And then, you know, people have come and gone. You see people come in the community. But you know, a lot of these people are traders and they're not really there to stick around. But through that time, we are building up a great community. Some of those aren't as vocal, you know that they're holders, but you know they don't like to jump in the chat as much. But the people that are in there, you know, we're definitely growing like a stronger and stronger foundation of people that do truly believe in the project, and a lot of that reason comes from the sort of cleanliness of the whole project. I mean, it's just the animation work, the team that are in there, you know, the team that's in this project, you know, they've all come from CTOs, and they're all CTOs that have been like grinded for like 6 months plus. So everybody in the team has like a great reputation of being long term. So people that are holding are, you know, they do believe in the project, they do believe in the team, and they sort of know the sort of cycle of a meme token. So it's really just down to us to sort of cook now and sort of fulfill the roadmap and stuff like that. But to answer your question, it's pretty hard to tell with the community, because it's like, you know, people, especially in the meme space, a lot of people jump around to the next hype token. So, you know, they're in and out of a million Telegram groups. So it's really hard to foster that. But with the plans that we've got, that's sort of our next move, really, to really foster the community. And yeah, it's just time to polish up and build, really. So.
Right. Well, that's quite normal, and frankly an expected answer. But the point with I think I'm starting to talk more for Pedro because I'm getting more educated on this. If you guys have been around, would stay around for a while, you'd know that Pedro is the seasoned trader and I am the seasoned talking head. But I'm learning his aspect of it, and that he's wanting to see that there are buyers that got out of the market and have orders waiting to go back in the market. Pedro, is that what I'm talking about?
That's exactly what I want to know. So here's the thing. So we're seeing a decrease in volume coming into your chart here, which is a good sign, meaning that your sellers are kind of dying out. And during your up moments, you can see here that your volume was kind of picking up. So it hit the... And I'll go through the etymology of your guys' chart and the emotional movement that happened. You went from basically a couple 100,000, right, or about 50, 60,000, shot up, exploded.
Yeah.
Then, so these are days. So these are moments where you saw the sell-off here, and then people bought it back. So I don't know if this was bots buying this back, or if these were real people, but it was money coming into your chart. Then, on this date here, you had a lot of fighting going on between the buyers and sellers, but the sellers got basically cheated on and rammed and got met with a ton of buyers. This big, huge push up, I would have expected to see a lot more volume coming in. So this was primarily all buyers here. A lot of buyers sitting that came in, and then they sold off, came to a typical, this is where my first demand zone would have been, is about right here. And you guys bounced off of this area here and went up and created your second higher low or lower high, or your the first lower high here. Then you try to push back up, where you try to stay above the 8 period moving average. The 8 period moving average is a psychological like price point for most people, meaning, like, you know, most people say, I want to get out here at this price point, right, to stay above average. So you look at it, your 8 is typically what that means. Then what happens is, as price breaks below the 8, right, like here, people came in, pushed up, but you can see once it came below that, and with a bit of volume, okay, with a bunch of sells. So people bought in, sold off. People bought in, it sold off. So they knew the buyers got tired and said, okay, we're done. They gave up the ghost. Boom, we saw the drop. And then you saw it basically scurve out and just sold off. And then from here, it twisted, where you have this banging bump here, where you guys literally went from 100,000 back up to about 200, 270, 300,000. And then again, people made that cash, popped off, said deuces, I'm out. And then you saw it drop here.
Deuces, I'm out. I love that. I love that phrase. So
on the back end, you know, that's scurved out. I don't know where I thought that. Anyways, but this is the part that I bring up here. You're coming down here to where your primary buyers are sitting. I don't see a demand, or I don't see a supply wick, which is a good sign for you. But you've got to come in. Once it comes down into these buyers sitting here, okay, around that 90,000, you guys better go in and utilize those buyers that are going to come in with whatever type of advertising that you guys do, whatever you guys do as a meme coin to go out and shill your project. That's when you need to sit there and jump in and say, okay, you have 3 primary forms here, or you have 3 primary resistance levels. You're going to have your 8 and your 20. You do not want your 8 to get below your 20 here. So get your people to sell off. Whoever's going to sell, get them to sell off so you can utilize this buy area here, where people are going to come in most likely, and then push this thing up to a higher level. You got 2 things. You got your 8 period and your 20 period. You do not want to see cross. Second, you also got this resistance level sitting right here. Okay. You need to push through that as well. This is a weekly zone. So that weekly zone is going to act as, again, kind of a strong support. But on the back end, you can go through and you can utilize that as a way to meet your buyers, where people, again, take profit, come back down, and you want to be able to play this in a smart way. So basically, you know people are going to G. You know people are going to take money, and you know people are going to sit there and say, oh, that's a good deal now, right? So this area here is a good deal for them. They're going to want to come in and buy this area. Then when they come up here to the 8 and the 20, you want to sit there and make sure that they push into that with volume. Right. And then from there, it will most likely come down. So it's going to pop, boom. You want to see it push through this, pop, come back down, find support here. Okay. Then from there, you want to see this movement. Yeah. Then you'll see it kind of and then pop up again and shimmy itself all the way back up there. And then from there, once you have that type of chart looking, if I'm a trader and I'm like, oh, shoot. And so it's going to look like this, boom, blow through, come back down, find support, boom, pop up, come down, find support. I sit there and I go, oh, shoot. And I start to see volume like this right here. As it's doing this, then most likely you'll blow through this. I won't say blow through, but you'll come in, do this, and then see it pop, right? And the sky's the limit.
Let me add a little color commentary to what Pedro's telling you. For meme coins, as you guys know, it's very hard to be on your marketing game 24/7 and pushing all the time. It's very difficult, right? You guys know that. And when Pedro gives you these spots, like this is where this is going to happen, what he's telling you is that's where you need to focus your marketing, because that's where you need the volume. So what we always tell people is take Pedro's advice and he says, this is where these things can happen if this happens. He's saying this can happen if volume comes in here. That means that's a signal for you guys. Focus your marketing on those price points and those dates when you think that's going to happen. Everyone has to invest in their own meme coin. So put your own money into it to get some green candles, get your marketing going, because when eyeballs come, they don't want to see this red that we see right now. They want to see green. And if all you need is like a hint of green, like just little green like that. And at those points that Pedro says, and your projects turn right around. There's been a number of examples that we've had on the show that have done that. Because we know you can't, your resources are not infinite. You have to focus your resources on certain places, and the chart doesn't lie. The chart doesn't lie. But you guys,
thanks, Pedro. Also, I just want to say thank you. That was actually that's really interesting points, because we've been essentially trying to push as hard as we possibly can all the way down with raiding and using our contacts. So we've partnered with a few people, the Kid and Walt show on X. So we've been partnered for them for 2 months. So we've been on a few of their spaces and just generally on general spaces on X. And we've been getting some calls in as well from people that we know, some culture calls. So that's been really good. But yeah, I think that's a great point you make about like you've got to target it at those specific points to make the chart look healthy. So for traders, look at that, think like that looks nice. Like that's got volume. Yeah, it's got new eyes on it.
Just go back and watch this later when you guys aren't on it, and sit and rewatch it a few times. Re-listen to Pedro where he says this is where this can happen if this other thing happens. And so then make that other thing happen at that period, and you'll have an advantage. But gentlemen, thank you for coming on today. If you got any last minute questions for us, let us know. Appreciate it.
I want to clarify that so you understand. So Alpha Wolf asks, what's the green line about? The green line is where you had your initial real buys coming in. So this area here, you want it to stay above this area, this line. You want to have a higher low so that you can see it pop. Okay, so I would focus here on whatever, and then let it do what it's going to do. At certain points, when you see the price coming to these levels that I pointed out here, okay, these levels here are areas when you want to put your effort into really bringing in people, whether that's marketing, whether that's shilling, whether that is whatever you do. Yeah. That's when you want to do it. And then let them come in, focus on your community, get them riled up, and then build your rating capabilities. Right?
No, that's brilliant. That's been really useful. Obviously, we've not had that sort of TA done with our chart within the team before, so no, that's been super helpful. Obviously, we look like a typical meme coin chart that's dropped, so we're not here to hide anything. So it's been really good to get your insight on the chart. But just want to say really appreciate you guys. Anybody that just want to check us out, obviously, all our links on the Dex on Dex tools. We are an alien token. The narrative's going to be pretty huge with alien tokens in 2025 with what's going on with Congress and everything like that. I'm personally really passionate about it as well. So we hold spaces just on the UAP and alien topic, and then we also do chill and chill spaces for other projects as well. But yeah, it'd be great if you guys just want to check us out on our socials, check out some of our content, and just want to say thank you very much, guys. It's been great to be on.
Okay. All right, guys. That was Satoshi and 15 ENKI on Soul. Check them out. Do your own research on it. Only risk what you can lose. Remember, it's meme coins, and it's an alien meme coin, which is hot right now. But we all know it's a meme coin. But anyway, I think if they take Pedro's advice, then they will have a shot at turning that chart around. But as I always tell everybody, it's up to you guys. All right, 15 and Pedro, we're going to boot you out of here. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Much love, guys. Interesting.
All right. Yeah, that was good. Appreciate their honesty about their project and all that type of stuff. I'm going to let me just clean up a little bit back here. We'll get to Walter in just a minute. Pedro, I am going to feed the algorithm here, so we're going to Going to do a 2-minute break. Our mics will be off during that break. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put up with us while we feed the great advertising machine. We'll be back shortly. All right, everybody. Thanks for putting up with the great advertising machine. Got to do it. It's easier to leave things on automatic and just have you guys get blasted ads in the middle of Pedro saying, just the most important part, put in your trade right here. And now Viagra. But I find it better to insert them manually, even if we do fewer commercials, because then we actually take a break and go pee and get something to drink and stuff like that. Which is always a good thing, as they say. Pedro, yeah. we're gonna have our second guest on today. Here is quite the famous person in our corner of the interwebs here. Because as I say, he's involved in just about everything I can think of. Not only is he working his real life job, he's the hardest working man in crypto, as I call him. And ladies and gentlemen, that's AI Alpha Wolf in the house.
What's up, dude? What's going on, Pedro? Now you get to see my ugly mug, right?
What's up, brother? How you doing? It's good to see you.
I'm excited to finally be on this space here, you know. I get to talk to you guys in the comments all the time. Now I get to see me. So what's going on, man? I'm excited to be here, dude. It's freaking exciting, you know, getting ready for the holiday tomorrow, go visit with family and stuff, you know. Hopefully I can take a break from the phone, but, you know, that'll never happen. You know, crypto just keeps you going, man. You got to stay on top of it. You know, the holidays, it'll probably be slow, but, you know, that's how it goes, man. Congratulations, Fire Chicken. Glad you bonded, got off a pump fund, because that's one place not to be sitting for very long. That's for sure. You know, definitely glad you're going somewhere. So good to see that, you know, and nice to see you up in here. What was the name? I forgot. Sorry, I was running around. Was it Yuri or something like that? Was the name? I think. Yeah,
I'm a little behind on the comments here, but we got Anton23 Digicoin on Solana. He's pumping that. We'll talk about it maybe about Extreme Car Care still here in the house. Whoop whoop, as he says. Whoop whooping for for AI Alpha Wolf here. And then, of course, Roland Rod in the house. Roland, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it with your flying Honda pig thing today. What I see today, did I see something saying that Honda was going to merge with Nissan or something like that? Or
yeah, it was this morning on the news they were talking about it. So hopefully Honda doesn't go to crap when they merge with Nissan. I mean, Nissan makes some good vehicles, you want to get to the sports side of cars, but Honda makes the cars that last, and Nissans are the ones that rust out before the Honda does, So they'll both run the freaking tires, the rubber off the tire, but I don't know, Nissan's quality versus a Honda. I would take a Honda Accord over a Nissan Sentra any day. But yeah. So
I have owned a Nissan. I have owned a Nissan in the past. It was a Nissan Altima 1993. It's my first new car I ever bought. 5-speed. I actually loved it. It was a great car. Drove it in Cincinnati when I lived there. And it was very swoopy back then.
So here's my Pedro cup. A giant sipping mug of coffee so that way I can stay hydrated while I'm freaking getting nervous being on.
You don't even realize, man. Like when you talk, man, you're expending out so much water, and then your brain literally starts to go. Like so, staying dehydrated in this talking thing is like it's real. That's Tom. Like you first start. I remember I'd start to fall asleep. I'm sitting there like yawning, going. I'm like trying because your brain just overworks itself. So.
You guys know me, I can't shut up,
Walter, what do you got going on here? You got a number of projects you're working in, but what seems to be something that you speak about the most is your community takeover project. Can you enlighten the audience about that?
Man, it's the bomb, man. For me, community has always been like my number one priority. For me, it's been important for communities to be able to communicate with one another because, when I first came into the space, that was the one thing I kind of noticed about people is that they really were more competitive than, trying to work with each other and support each other, and a lot of these other smaller communities, they're just falling apart trying to kill each other, and they're not going anywhere to begin with. And most of them just die out anyways and fall off and go nowhere, and so a couple of the communities, because you guys know I've been a part of several communities and I've been a part of several that weren't good, and I've been a part of a couple that have been good, you know what I mean? So you never know until you get in there. Sometimes, people talk a good game and you don't know because you got to be able to trust everybody that comes into the space as much as you can. But you got to be smart about what you do. You learn from each experience and you just move forward. You know what I mean? You can't just not trust somebody just because, So you got to at least try and give somebody the effort. And if the signs are there, then yeah, you do what you do. But, needless to say, though, you learn from them experiences, you move on, hopefully you take from them and do something with it. You know what I mean? So for me, I try to take something from it and try to make a positive out of a negative, like always. And I see a way to make a negative situation into a positive. In these communities, they're not failing, but they're really not going nowhere either. You know what I mean? They're kind of stale or dead. They've gone through their spikes. You know what I mean? They're just kind of sitting stale. Right. They're working, not going nowhere. Rob, the dev from Theory or whatever, he's from Shibarium. He's a Shibarium dev or whatever. The Shibarium millionaire. So he's got a lot of friends in different places too. And there's a couple of communities that he's known. That he's brought into because I'm the dev of Dr. Faktoki. And then I was the community leader for Ethereum, so those are the two communities that I'm part of, and then there's a few other communities that are in there. There's Yan, Pokemano, which I was part of, and then PPP, and then Pi, Biscuit, those are the other ones that were in there. A couple of them were from Shibarium, a couple of them were on Ethereum, a couple of them on Solana, and for us, we had Paw Chain was in the space too when we actually launched Ethereum. So that was kind of like an idea about going on there with Ethereum, but Ethereum had its ups and its downs and it kind of died out a little bit, you know what I mean? So, we kind of got this idea, so we kind of started moving towards this direction. Instead of pumping Ethereum, we kind of brought the tokens together, because like the doctor token, the contract was broken from the day one and never showed no liquidity in any wallet. So you couldn't purchase it in a wallet. So I had to direct everybody to Moonshot for purchases. So it's hard to direct everybody to one place to buy a crypto and actually make somebody follow through on that. So, we got to a flat spot and that's where it's at, but everybody held, you know what I mean? So everybody in my community held because they believed in the project, and our utility more or less was supporting other communities because I'm about communities, like obviously, so Pedro inspired the idea, when he was talking about people coming together, and I know he meant something different, but that's the idea that came into my head when he was speaking about, people coming together and creating a power with unity, so, that seed with Rob talking when we were in the pod chain space about talking about doing something like that, and that idea, it all came together like the perfect science, you know what I mean? Like the mad science came together, just doing something different. So, everybody that's holding in all these token communities is all going to come out with a positive balance of what they were holding in their wallets to begin with. Nobody has to worry about who sold first, who got the best value. And there's no arguments there. Even the dev profits on the deal. You know what I mean? So everybody's in a positive place. So overall, I see this being a generally good experience, especially right off the bat from launch. We take the liquidities, we pull them all together, and that's what goes into liquidity. And for our launch market cap, we are going to hold some back because that liquidity balance is going to go onto pod chain. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to slow down. I get nervous, so I start talking fast. So just tell me to slow down if I go too fast.
AI, we've heard you in so many spaces talk for hours. We know that's possible, and I'm always ready to cut you off if needed. But you're giving some good information about the CTO event. Actually, to expand on that, just so people understand it that are not part of your community, there's a lot of CTO programs out there that have small communities, and the idea is you can gather as one larger CTO community and bring more eyeballs and to let new people come and say, oh, this community is much larger than I thought because it's a bunch of different ones. Is that am I explaining this kind of correctly?
Yeah, more or less. It's almost even kind of like, well, Rob's part of Shibarium, so I think his idea a little bit of how part of it is kind of like how they run certain things over there where they bring communities together and that kind of stuff. But then, yes, as far as you would bring your, now, okay, we're starting out with the 7 tokens. So if you were to come in the future time or whatever, you would take your liquidity, which you have pooled together. You would sell off all your tokens and pool that together. You would bring that in to our token, and then you would get your subsidy and get your balance of what you were holding in your wallet. And we would take that on to the token and add that to the balance. You know what I mean? So that way you would get a percentage of what you're holding, but you're going to get it at the token, whatever it's at that time, if you get in at a later date. I see what I'm saying? So if you get in now, it's set that way because we're using our money to start the token or whatever and finance it. So, we're going to get our balance or whatever, but we're doing this for a purpose. We're not doing this to sell the tokens. We're doing this because we got a long-term goal. You know what I mean? So
Can you set the amount? So it sounds like it's kind of like a warrant, which is,
I don't understand that part, I guess.
No, it's a term that is kind of like a warrant in the stock market basically is like a price is right here, and you think that it's going to go higher. So you sit there and say, I'm willing to allocate X amount of money at this price point for a lower amount, but I'm paying a VIG on it. So if it goes, let's say, from $1 to $10, I want to be able to buy it at $1.50. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like, am I understanding that right? How that works?
I don't think so.
Yes, I can't say yes or no to answer that question correctly. I don't want to answer it, and I don't know how to answer it.
I don't think there's a mechanism for doing that in DeFi yet, Pedro.
The only thing I can say would be a mechanism even close to that would be the way that Podchain sets their mechanism up when we put the balance into their system, that they keep it balanced between the different networks, like BNB, Ethereum, and whatever network it's on. You know what I mean? Your pool goes into the pod network, and it stays like they only let a little bit out of the system to this network, a little bit out of the system to this network, so that way your price stays balanced across all the networks, no matter which one you're on. So I mean, of course, you will get the growth of the networks, of course. It'll come with that. But still, it's kind of balanced out. So I don't know if you mean something like that. Is that what you mean, or am I off?
So yeah, no, I misunderstood it. So basically, it's like kind of like how the euro dollar system works then, but more based off of Europe, right? Where they take everybody and they kind of create a running average with that, right?
Oh, if they give us $1, we're giving them $1.50. Is that what you mean? Like we're actually giving them more money than? Oh, okay. I guess not that I don't understand, because
I think you jumped into an advanced topic that is not really available on crypto.
Honestly, Pedro, we'd have to have a side conversation. You have to explain it to me a little bit more, and I would have to ask questions for somebody else that's in the group to really get it, because I'm still learning, man. I mean, I've only been in the space on this side of it since April, so some things are like new words to me and new things. So then I I have to go do my research again, so I mean, and I will, I will, but it's just, that's what I haven't really taken so much. So I've never heard that term yet before. So this is something new to me as far as this discussion goes. So I can't say
it's a warrant in crypto, or not crypto, in institutional like TradFi. And it's probably not. I'm just trying to understand it. Actually, I know you guys are a multi-chain system that works interchangeably, which is pretty dope. And how you guys are setting things up with pod chain, and it's basically, it's kind of, well, they said they cured the interoperability issue that is happening. That is current issue right now. So it's really interesting. And I really haven't checked much into Podchain and actually how they've set up their ecosystem, but it's been really actually interesting and promising to see what's actually happening there. So we'll check it out even more. I mean, love to even have Podchain on and talk with them and see what they're doing and just the idea behind it.
Well, I know Brian and Luck and them guys over there. I mean, I'm sure they would come on to one of your spaces and talk with you guys if you were talking to them. They do their space on Saturday, sometime on Saturday. If you ever come in their space, Pedro, around or whatever, So if you catch your space on a Saturday, maybe you can come in there and they get to know who you are, and I can get them to come hang out for a minute or something. Because, like I said, first we're launching on Ethereum. That's what our first step is doing. We're launching our tokens, going to be launched on Ethereum. And then we're going to do that, and then we're going to hold back part of the token allocation supply, and we're going to put that on Podchain. You know what I mean? So then we'll move that part of the supply over to Podchain, so that way we can bring down the feed structure and that kind of stuff for the token community. So it's easier to transact and make it a little bit cheaper than the Ethereum network. Some people are still Ethereum maxis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I mean? If you're making $1 zillion and you want to pay $500,000, fine, but me, I would rather make $1 million and pay you 10, so
dude, I knew this guy. He, he was getting in when Solana was sitting at $10-20, man. He was throwing in, thousands of dollars, and thing's gonna just jump. And he was right. He bet right. He did really well. I didn't even understand what he was doing. I mean, I knew Solana, but I felt like he almost had this insider thing that was actually happening. And but he's, they have a good return. You go to a lot of exchanges and you stake Solana, you're making a good chunk of change, And so I mean, I can see that. I can see it.
All right, Alpha, what else are you working on here? We know you got CTO.
Okay, so there's a couple of tokens. I mean, of course, Nova Chain. Zach from Subway. From a Crypto Breakfast Club. There's Nova Chain. So of course, the market cap down right now is sitting down around 100-ish area. I know it's like 105, 106 or whatever. Some people have been selling off. It's the holidays. People got to do shopping, whatever they're doing. Things happen. So it's kind of basically we're at the line where it's usually most of the sell-offs go, and it's time to work again. The good thing about Nova Chain is it's got a community behind it of what most token communities would die for, because usually the people that are in this community that make this community, you would have to pay a lot of money for in order to get this kind of people to hang out in your community. So Nova Chain has a long-term potential, especially when the community starts working here and we start branching out a little bit and bringing some good investors in. So it has a good long-term. Zach's got a good head on his shoulders, so come check out Nova Chain. It's a good buy-in point now. Save up that Christmas money you get from Santa Claus, grab yourself a bag. CTO will be launching here in a few weeks. You just never know. It might be a week, it might be 2, but it's going to be within less than 3. So I'll tell you that much. So it's going to be a good year. 2025 is going to start out with a bang, and we're going to keep on going, man. I'm excited. Crypto's moving good. Trump's going to be in office next month. I'm just excited to see where things are going. A lot of good people in the spaces now, learning a lot of good stuff. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to be here, and thanks for having me.
Glad to have you.
You're welcome, man. You said, which one was it you're thinking of pushing off sometime until January?
My launch for the CTO.
Gotcha.
So the CTO is going to be sometime after the first week of January. It's going to be right around there. So in that general area, within 10 days of the first week. but just the market fell down. We were supposed to launch today. That's why I'm actually doing the AMA today. So unfortunately, we did not launch today. But you know what? We want to make sure the investors make money and make sure it's worth the time with all the money we put into it already. So yeah, let's do this the right way and make sure we'll start off 2025 with a good start. Get that going and then get over PodChain. Here when the market starts moving again this year, and hopefully this will be a nice little ride this year. So you guys will be doing good. Everybody else would be doing good because we'll be listening to Pedro and following his advice. Just stay in that green line there. When it's time to pump, make sure you can pump. So don't be scared.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I might note that Pedro, we've got the Nova chart up here now, and Pedro drew these lines a while ago here, and it bounced off his line.
Oh, did it? Did it bounce off his line? Here, should I go into Nova right now and tell them, hey, you guys need to come over to the space? Let me get them over
Sure.
here real quick.
Yeah, why not? Good.
All right. Nova.
While you're doing that, give me Alpha Wolf. Give me a second to do a little community action here. Ka-ching in the house, coming just from Minneapolis. Is it snowing over there? It's snowing here in Toronto. That's for sure where I am. Who else we got here? Chuck Jansen says just burned 9.98 million Fire Chicken tokens.
Holy moly, bro!
Chuck is a we'll call him a burner, a burnout, and I don't mean because he's out smoking the J behind high school. It is. I've known Chuck for I don't know how long, 4 years now, and we participated in a couple of projects that were way too much supply, had way too much supply. And so we would have burning parties in which we were just like, let's burn a quadrillion of these things. Okay. And the best part is that we'd burn a quadrillion of token, whatever. And it's like throwing away $10, it's like no big deal. It's like, whatever. And the supply would go down and that token mooned. And at one point, a quadrillion tokens was worth $85,000.
Wow. Wow.
And we were all like, think of all that shit we burned.
It's interesting you say that. I was part of it doesn't even matter. I'm just saying it's amazing how that can actually happen, right? Like it's just when you realize you burn a certain amount of money and then all of a sudden you look back and go, that burn was X amount of money. What? Right? Like it's just mind blowing. You're just like, okay.
What do we got here? We got the Fire Chickens chart up here. Let me find a Fire Chicken here to get their.
Yeah, Fire Chicken here, dude. Oh, shout out! What's up, big man? Dr. J is in the house. Big shout out to DYOR Media from Fire Chicken. Your platform embodies the spirit of community and education, and we strive for every day. We strive for every day. We are.
Pedro, I don't need my glasses here, so I'll take it. Your platform embodies the spirit of community and education that we strive for every day. We're building something special, fun, educational, and resilient. Thank you, Chuck, very much. We really appreciate having you part with your Fire Chicken money and put it in our pockets. We really appreciate that. That shows the algorithm there's something good going on over here, and the algorithm should push this show to many more people. And clearly it has, because the user count has gone up by 2 to $10 a viewer. But anyway, as always, Pedro and I are very thankful for that. We're very thankful that everyone that separates their hard-earned cash and gives it to us. As I say, it benefits everybody here, because not only does it help Pedro and I, but it helps us continue this and helps us bring you better edutainment and some continuing coverage for the Fire Chicken. And in case, just so everyone's clear, that Chuck Jansen is Mr. Fire Chicken's dev. And look at that pump. What chart is that? Yeah. The daily chart? Oh, that is nothing but sweetness right there.
Check this out. So on the 12th, last week we were talking about this, right? I said we're pumping up here. We want to see, we could either see two things. We could see it come back down and find support on this flip zone, which was right here. We want to see it come down, find support, and then from there, we want to see it keep above that 8. And dude,
all right, you get
above it.
Hold on a sec. We got to make sure we have the right chart. There's two charts. There's the chart when it was on before it was on pump, and then there's a new chart that is taken over now.
Yes.
Is that correct, Chuck?
Yes.
Adam Frack, thanks for joining us. We're going over Fire Chicken here. We're going to hit Nova here in just a minute. Hey, Joe, just so you know, we have 20 minutes, and I do have a really hard stop here.
All right. So, yeah, dude. So let me pull this up here real quick. So Fire Chicken. So I'm going to pull this up so you can sit there and see what's actually going on. So this right here, the big pump you're going is this right here. Okay. So this is what it looked like. It went up, came down, found support, and a supportive area came through, blew through this. This was once supply. And I always talk about if it blows through supply, this is key, blow through supply with a ton of volume, that area becomes support. So you can see here, it came down, find support, stayed above the 8-period moving average, and then exploded. Now, this area, because it bonded, we need to check out another chart. So that's this chart right here. So
look at Pedro. He's on it. He's on it, man. Look at this. Come on, man.
Right, on it, bro. Come on.
Got to move that over a little bit.
Say it with your chest. Whoop, whoop. Ooh. All right. So you saw the pump, push up, came back down, pulled, and now I always talk about this. It comes back down, finds support. Then what we want to see is a capture, right? We want to see it come down, then up, right? That's what we want to sit there and see. So we saw it go up, come down, find support, put in the wick, that daily wick right here, and now we're starting to push up here. So you can see here that it went to 184,000, came here, and what we want to see it do is it put that small wick in. So what we want to see it do is basically stay above that 8. Okay, and let me pull this here. Stay above the 8 on the hour, and we want to sit there and see if it does come down. We want to see a sell-off and then a pick back up, and to start following that 8 on the hour, the 2 hour, and then it'll create another thing on the 4 hour where we'll see it keep going up, and then again sell off, come back on, right? And this is what we want to sit there and see. So it looks like a good chart. The key point here is this: we got to see some defense against the sellers. So that's where you see a sell off and then a push back up. So that's in a nutshell. Whoop, whoop.
I think Chuck is the built-in defense against sellers. Hopefully he is, but on that note, Pedro, we both know, and you've taught me this well, is that there really is ultimately no artificial support for a chart that works in the long term. Yeah. You can get a tick or two out of it, and you can, even if you're got deep pockets and you can be your own market maker for a while. Eventually, your money's going to run out there. And the market itself is going to take over. So ultimately, it's best to, let the market do what it's going to do from the start and put your energy into marketing and spreading the word. And he says, FN is flu is spreading all over the world. Yeah. Well, Chuck, you see that on the front lines. Is the flu getting bad there in your corner of Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, where the
Oklahoma. I have a camera set up here, Pedro. So my nice camera set up here, and then in front of it, I have a monitor for just the camera, so I can see that it's in focus and all that. And then I have our StreamYard thing, and so each one is a millionth of a second difference. And so when I do Oklahoma, my arms are going in different directions, and it's quite funny.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm seeing actually right. Actually, side note. So, Chuck, I hear you, man. I've actually been downing. I found out you can have too much garlic, so and it gives you massive migraines. I didn't realize that, and that was a good thing to learn. But so I'm sticking with 2 to 3 cloves of garlic a day. And I know it sounds crazy, but I don't stink. I was actually around my friend this weekend, and I said, "Do I smell?" He goes, "Dude, I honestly don't smell you." He goes, "You're not stinking. You're not, But I also eat a lot of fruits, and I also, fruits, vegetables, ginger. I try to save from like a lot of like, meat that isn't good for you, right? Like antibiotic, and so." The flu thing, I've noticed that a lot of people are getting it. And it's a bad flu, I hear. A really bad flu.
Hold on, bring it back.
All right. Okay. So it is Meme Coin Monday. Let's check out some meme coins here, because we've been talking a lot about meme coins. Alrighty then. Sell off, baby. Sell off. Sorry. Let's go. Let's go so I can buy up. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go, Doge. All right. So Doge, it was holding off of that 89 period moving average, but we didn't. We weren't able to get above.
Be dying on me. Be dying.
Oh, no.
Needs new batteries.
Don't die.
Needs new batteries, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got 10 minutes left here. What are we moving on to? We moving on to some Doge?
Some Doge. Let's go over some meme coinage so we can check them out. So Doge, we weren't able to get above the 8-period moving average with strong volume. You can see it petered out here, and then now it swerved back down, which we're going to now see. It typically either we'll see one where it will continue sideways here, or it will follow that A and kind of wait for that A to push it down even further. So my hope is that it comes back down to that 26 area here before the rally after the market, before it goes. So that kind of last hoorah is either the 24, 26 area and or potentially 20-cent mark before we see another rally up to that 76 cent area of the all-time high. So it's going to be real interesting to see how we move here. Let's check out Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu came down, touched our area on Friday or Thursday, I believe, here. And then we saw it kind of consolidate here. But again, I'm not seeing a ton of volume. You can see that they tried to really push it up, but they just weren't able to do it. And so it's looking like it's still following the 8-period moving average as we come down. You can see here you have that 200-period moving average holding, but I don't think it's going to hold. So potentially we could pick up Shiba Inu on this last hurrah, potentially at the 1500 area mark, okay, 1600 area right here, or we could see it come back down to that 1200. If it gets down to that 1200, okay, I think it's a smart buy. I think it's a really smart buy to get in on that price before we see it get up to a higher level for that buy area. Let's check out.
Hey, hold on. We got the Nova crew showed up here. So why don't we go back and hit the Nova crew here. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Pumped our viewership up by 10 to 15. Thank you very much.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Let's see it in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. If you're here to support Nova, let us know.
Blow us up, please. We love having you guys. Shout out to Zach from Subway. Not to misconfuse that with Jared. Two different people, two different situations. Zach's the real dope dude. So shout out. Adam Frank. Let's go. So you can sit here and see this point right here with, boom, here we go. Nova. So Nova was one of those ones they wanted me to do TA on it. I didn't want to give any type of TA. It was the first couple days, and it was this mark right here is when they wanted me. I didn't say where the resistance level it was. I put it on my chart, but I didn't say it online when I was on that space. They wanted me to. I said I will give you an area that I think we should find some support, but to get the demand area here, it created a supply and it was coming down here on this day, right? Or I think it was this right here. I think it was. Oh, I'm trying to remember. It was maybe one of these 2 days, and I saw this here, and it was coming down. So I put my demand, and I said, "Listen, I've got a demand area between that 93,000 to 70,000 area here, where we basically see some support, where we can see it push up." And again, it did come down to this level here, and then we found once this sold off here, I say my resistance level is at that 250, 225, which is a round number, which is a normal thing. But so you guys sold off, which was actually a good thing. So you guys sold off into sellers, which means that this isn't being messed. This is a real chart. Okay, if this would have blown super through this, I would have been like, all right, somebody's manipulating this. But you guys sold off in areas here that were good areas. okay, which means that when you came back down here, you were able to pick up real buyers, right? So that's what we're seeing now, an increase. Now, this is during Christmas
pop
time,
at the top
right?
line there, Pedro. Is that good then? That should be good, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely. It means it's a real buying seller market. It's not like manipulated. Like as Tom talked about earlier, when you start to see people really step in and try to, you want the market to dictate its value.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're seeing here.
So grab a bag of Nova. You know you want one, especially for Santa Claus. You know you want to put that cookie in a little bag of Nova.
So
glad to see the Nova crew in here.
Shout out to Nova. Good to have you guys. Jerry. Who else is in here? We got Adam.
Jerry, we're not Adam. Oh, there's a whole bunch of people in here. Of course, Chris is in here too.
Yeah.
Wasn't Zach in here? Somebody was in here a second ago.
Hey guys, make sure you guys hit that like button. That really does help us out a lot. Hit that like and them heart buttons. I try to get you guys going on that, but if you guys can hit them heart buttons like that, that always helps us out so much. But throwing this out here real quick. Yeah, so the fact that it sold off in this area, and now we're starting to find buyers in our buy area, which is really important, right? We're seeing it. We're seeing that the 8 and the 20 is weak. So we should push through this area, at least to the peak here now again, and see what it does from that. I'm pretty positive we'll probably consolidate. So I know this is Zach's baby here, but so we'll see something kind of like this, boom, and we'll hit something like that, right? Where I might play and then do something at this nature. So yeah, I would assume that's what it's going to do, if not much more. I'm going to assume that this area here, as a resistant level here, is going to act again still as resistance. So you'll see something like this. It'll fight through this area and then push up through that. Because this area here, there are going to be people. So I like that when I see that in a chart, that it pushed through a major area of sellers. Just simply because as I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm realizing that people really, really want to buy this chart, right? Especially at a high level.
It has a good movement on there, you know, and the buyers that are coming in now are a little bit larger buys now. It's not like the little $20 buys and the $15 buys now. Now it's, you know, like a half a soul, a couple soul, you know. Yeah. So the people that are coming in now are the investors because they see that, you know, it's lasted more than 30 days. That's going to last a test of time. At least, you know, in crypto sphere, if it lasts at least 30 days, you got some hope. You know what I mean? If it only lasts, a week, you know, you got, if it lasts a week, you made some money, you got lucky. Yeah. You know,
15,000 a day gets launched. 15,000, right? That's a rough number. It's probably higher than that.
At least.
I don't even want to think about it.
Well, with Nova,
99.9 fail in a day or two.
Oh yeah, it was not even that long. 12 hours. They pump it as soon as that pump bot's over with. Boom, it's gone.
It's done.
Yep. You see that first couple of
hey Jackson.
Buys, see the couple sales. Oh, go ahead. I thought Tom was saying something.
Hello.
Oh, he's on the phone. All right. So yeah, go ahead, Nova, man. Make sure you guys grab a bag of Nova. It's a good buy-in point now. You know, if it's moving, it's time to buy, especially when things are going down and Nova's going up. That's all you got to worry about, right?
You know, it's almost like Fire Chicken, how Fire Chicken came and found support. How Zach is really trying to build this. I hear him on a lot of spaces and how he's trying to develop this. So I got to give it for Zach. He's definitely out there doing the work as a founder here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
That's one thing I do like about Zach is that Zach is really pushing hard on this system, and he's standing by him. He's got a pretty big following. So it kind of reminds me. The chart reminds me a little bit like how Fire Chicken. Now, granted, Fire Chicken has at a smaller market cap, but it's still one of those things though that Fire Chicken was able to blow through that resistance where it came back down, found support there, and then pushed through. So I like that. Honest, and obviously Fire Chicken is a lot younger than
well, Nova's. It's actually a takeover. I mean, I think it was around for about a month before Zach got it or whatever. I think the guy must have came into the space, you know, and Zach met him, and then he didn't have no money after he spent his first pump. You know what I mean? So and everything kind of went to crap, I guess, and So Zach got himself a good deal there, and he's got a couple other tokens behind him. So, I mean, he knows what he's doing, and he's got a good community around him. So, it's got a long-term potential. You always do your own research, make your own choices, but it's got good potential, So
Absolutely.
It's not financial advice, but it's got good potential.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead because we got a couple more minutes. Shoot.
Three whole minutes left.
That's good.
I'm gonna run through this real quick because I know we got 3 minutes. So Brett came down following the 8-period moving average. It blew through the 100 and the 200. We did, and it's starting to come back down even further. So I like Brett down at 11, the 10 cents, and possibly even at 8 cents if we really start to see a major sell-off. 2, let's check out Bonk. Bonk is still following the 8-period moving
Bonk, ladies and
average.
gentlemen.
Yep, we're going to go through this real quick, all right? So following the 8-period moving average, and again, it did bounce off of that 20-period at our lower level, but I think it's going to go down lower. So potentially we've got 13, it was a 4013 area where you could pick up Bonk at this level here. So if you see it get there, pick some up there, okay? Again, not financial advice. Let's check out Floki. Boom.
Here's a good one.
Oh, shoot, this isn't Floki, this is Flow.
Oh,
wait a minute. Give me 1 second. Come on. I got how much time? I got 2 minutes of DYOR. Boom, Floki. Here we go. We got Floki. Floki looking very similar. You can see how a lot of them are still kind of mimicking each other. Went through, bounced off the 400-period moving average here. And also, it again, showing weakness. So you could be picking up Floki at these lower levels of 000 1094 area to that 409585 area. Let's check out Baby Doge. Baby Doge, people liked it. People wanted to buy it up here. I said, hold. Do not buy it at the high level. Come down. So we saw it bounce a little off of this, but I said this baby still has some weakness in it. My real buy is down at the Forever Zeros 25077 area. And so this is the area that I'm looking to really pick up a decent amount of Baby Doge as we see it come down into this level here. Let's check out Brett. Let's do Popcat and you got to go, Tom. It's already 2. Dang it. I'm trying to blow through this here real quick.
Blow through 2 more.
Okay, so we got Popcat coming down here to our level here that I talked about. Good little areas. It's still showing weakness. So give me real quick. Right here, we could potentially capture another play right here on Popcat, which is about right here to this lower level here. It's right here. Boom. Right there. We'll play.
While Pedro's doing that, thank you to everyone that's been watching us on Rumble. We really appreciate it over there on Rumble, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, guys. So this lower level right here, I like it. That 33-cent area, potentially seeing Popcat come back down to there as it drops. And there was Kit with Hat. This is Dog with Hat. Dog with Hat is coming down to our lower level here. So what I love about it is this. Don't get into it until we start to see real volume come into this with Hat, because potentially this could kind of bottom out here, right, where we could see it even potentially come back down to here until we start to see volume. So I like this area of the $1.26 to the $7 area. This area is one of those areas I like, and I like a lot. If we decide not to get down here, we got to get above the 8 with volume. Okay. All right. So that's it in a nutshell. That was 2. Do you want to do Pepe?
Do Pepe and then go back to BTC and we'll close the show.
All right.
Pepe,
cool.
unicorn fart.
All right. So this is what originally. So you wanted to dog with fart? Is that what you said?
No. Do Pepe.
Okay. All right. So you can see here, this was the play that we played where we talked about Pepe. I expected it to come up to here. We kind of fell short here. We got about 75% of the push I thought we were going to do, where we went through. Then we came back down. So the area here that we talked about was this lower area of the 1435 to the 1298. And this was with Pepe. right? That's that area between the 100 and the 200-day period moving average. Again, you can see here, we're seeing volume drop off. So I want to see volume pick up at these levels with real buyers. Really important, right? I always talk about that. It's my mantra. In addition to that, it's also this area. If it comes down to that, when it comes down to that area, you want to see it basically, you can see, you'll see it. You'll see it flip around and turn up and get above that 8 period with moving average. And this will be down around this level here. Let's check out, you said after this with Pepe to Do. No,
let's finish it off with Bitcoin. And I got a question for you as always.
Yes, sir. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So dominance. Come on, baby. Where'd you go? All right. So Bitcoin again is selling off below the 8 period moving average, and we potentially could get down to this next level, which I'm talking about, which is going to be that 90,000, potentially
got 1 minute left.
90,000, potentially 88,000 area. And so that's one of those things you want to pay attention to your 5 and 15 and see which moving average it's following. Okay, it's starting to drop off, so we want to make sure that it starts to really follow that trend. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. And again, all right,
here's my question for you, Pedro. 90,088 is where you're drawing your next line. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I drew a line at 91,500. Okay. Now, my lines are not as susceptible or not as accurate. I'm learning this, and I just wanted you to look at that and go, it's an okay place for one, or not at all. Like, no, that's not at all a place for one.
Well, I won't do that. What I will do, because that will circumvent your trading, your skill set. So real quick, if you don't mind me asking, why did you pick it?
There was a tremendous amount of wicks up next to something else, a big green candle.
How many time frames did you play it on?
I did one long term and one short term, or two long terms. I think it was 3 total time frames, and I didn't do a full analysis like you. I just kind of went like, you know what? I'm starting to get the hang of this. Let me just look at that, and I'll ask Pedro if it's even sorted.
Do the same thing the same way every time. Do not do shortcuts. Do not sit there and say, I'm getting the hang of this. Do the same thing the same way every time in trading, because trading is not about feeling. It's about rule-based systems that you can quantify by saying, if it does this and does this, I can sit there and put a statistic on it. So
I just didn't want to do the wrong thing over and over again.
So I hear that, but if you do the wrong thing over and over, you'll learn, because it keeps doing the wrong thing, right? And you're like, that's not working. And because you do the same thing over and over and over, you can sit there and say, okay, now I need to change this. I've done this maybe 20 times. It hasn't worked. Now let me go ahead and add on an additional step. Let me add on more or pull out different steps. And you'll learn that, right? Just it's the idea of trial and error. That's how winning is done.
And Patrick brings up a good point. Trading requires not sleeping in as well. Yes, that's a problem for me.
What?
Getting your ass up early in the morning and getting on the trading desk.
Sleep? What's that?
That's an inside joke. Right. That's an inside joke for Pedro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for joining us on the screen here. It's two of the hardest working men in crypto, Pedro Garcia and AI Alpha Wolf. Thanks for joining us. Let me get rid of this comment here and end this show properly.
Thanks for I appreciate you.
Much love. Thanks for being on here, brother. You're amazing.
Thanks for coming by, everybody, especially to the Nova crowd. Let's get the kick tracks going here.
No, dude. Shout out. I'm gonna show off the Nova track and Fire Chicken here. Fire Chicken going strong. I love seeing it. I love seeing what you guys are doing. So proud of you, Chuck. So proud of Fire Chicken and Nova team. You guys have been grinding, literally grinding. So proud of you guys for doing that as well. So shout out to Fire Chicken. Shout out to the team over at Nova. Keep it going, guys. Don't give up. Keep fighting.
That's a great way to say it. Do not give up. Nothing like that. Just keep going at it all day, every day, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. So glad to have hosted this show today with these two wonderful gentlemen next to me here. We had a great day with ENKI on Sol. Make sure you do your own research on that one, as they weren't doxxed, but still seemed like okay guys. And also, of course, we had Walter AI Alpha Wolf here with all of his CTO projects. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Pedro Garcia and I, my name is Tom Herlihy, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media universe. We will see you later, so be there.